Hey guys, Brisk here. In today's company and stock analysis video, we're going to be going over Snap Incorporated, otherwise known as Snapchat. Snapchat is an American messaging app developed by Snap Incorporated. One of the best things about Snapchat is it keeps the younger generation in contact by allowing them to send pictures of themselves, whatever they're doing, at any given time. The messages they send are then available to the recipient for about 10 seconds or however long they please. Afterwards, they're deleted, which makes it so appealing for the younger generation. Today, Snapchat was down 3.15% as the market was only down 0.7%, suggesting that Snapchat moves a little bit more volatile according to the market index that it's in. With earnings coming up very soon, Snap's looking to perform quite well to meet up to the investor sentiment. However, given the financials of the company, it's still a very speculative play. Looking at the full year, the consensus estimates suggest that analysts are expecting around 23 cents per share income and a revenue of around $3.9 billion. These changes would be up 483% and 55.7% respectively. This shift in sentiment shows how bullish investors are on Snapchat. However, in the short term, I continue to remain bearish. Let's take a look at the Snapchat technicals on TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim. First thing you want to do is get the key price levels. Let's get the absolute bottom over here, the absolute top over here, and some key levels in between. Once you figured out your key levels, it's time to draw some trend lines on the chart. The first trend line we want to get is the support trend line. This upward moving support suggests that Snapchat is looking quite bullish in the short term. However, in the immediate short term, Snapchat can continue to see losses up into earnings. The biggest thing I'm going to want to look out for is the options activity and how much volume is being given on a given trading day. This will allow me to make a more informed trading decision. Zooming into a closer time frame, I want to see exactly what's happening with Snap stock. As you can see, it gained a little bit of momentum over here, then lost its momentum going downwards, even gapping down in the intraday. As you can see, it bounced off of this key support level to the price that it's at right now. I'll be looking for Snapchat to retest this support level to see whether or not I want to go long on it or go short on it. Essentially, if it falls from here, the next key support level is at 55. So you really got to be careful about where and when you're investing in this equity. It would make sense for the equity to go down to 55.09 because that's where the trend line is holding. Zooming back out, I want to see more key features about the chart. So I'm going to clear my drawing sets over here. And I actually want to take a look at this gap. Now this gap is between $29 and $35. Gaps are generally known to fill at some point in time. However, as you can see, Snapchat really hasn't taken the opportunity to fill the gap from its gap up in October. So I'll be really looking at how it performs on earnings. If by any odd reason Snapchat misses earnings according to estimates, it should tank significantly. So I'll be keeping a very, very close eye on this equity, as well as the volume that it's trading at. That being said, it's not that I don't believe in Snapchat. I really do think it's a great stock and it really appeals to the younger generation. But right now, I just think it's too bearish in the short term. However, you never just want to look at technicals. Let's take a look at the financial side of things. Looking at the key stats section, there are a couple of things that I really wanted to point out. On a quarterly basis, Snapchat's intraday market cap has been changing quite significantly, increasing in every quarter. Scrolling a little bit down, I want to analyze the profit margins as well. A negative profit margin suggests that Snapchat isn't making profit right now, among one of the disruptive technology companies that really isn't posting a profit. However, as an investor, I don't necessarily care about that right now, but I definitely do want to see them making a profit or even posting some profit in the next quarters to come. As you can see, Snapchat's beta on a 5-year monthly is 1.27, suggesting that the company moves 1.27 times the index that it trades on, which is the S&P 500. The 52-week change for Snapchat is a whopping 161%. So essentially for every dollar that you put in, you made $1.6 in Snapchat. However, the S&P 500 is trading at 36%. This discrepancy is definitely one to be noted. Scrolling a little bit down, I actually kind of want to see the revenue per share. And for every share that it has outstanding, Snapchat is making around $1.91. This is actually also supplemented by its total cash per share. Snapchat's current debt to equity ratio is around 150.7. That's a significantly high debt to equity ratio. That to me is a huge red flag, which is why I think it's a hold right now. I understand the fact that Snapchat is new and it's not going to have as much net income just yet, but it just shows right now from the debt to equity ratio that the company is taking on so much financial risk, a risk that it doesn't necessarily have to take. And this high debt to equity ratio isn't supported by its current ratio. It only shows that to supplement this 150 debt to equity ratio, it has 4 times the amount of assets as it has liabilities. This is something that really concerns me as well. The book value per share is $1.12, whereas Snapchat is trading at around $60. Another slight bit of concern over here is the amount of shares that it has outstanding and the amount of shares that it has short. It has around 1.6 billion shares outstanding and around 50 million shares of those are short, which suggests that the company's short ratio is around 3.26%, which suggests that the company's short ratio is 3.26. There are plenty of different caveats to look at when looking at Snapchat. However, you have to believe in the company's financials, and you also have to believe in the company's technicals. But another intangible fact is the impact that it has on the younger generation. Everywhere you look, people are Snapchatting. People are using the advertisement features. People are utilizing that to the max. So Snapchat has to figure out ways to diversify in order to make it a more viable company. Once Snapchat starts to post profits, which I do believe it will, it'll become a force to reckon with, competing with companies along the lines of Twitter and Facebook. But for me, right now, it's just a little bit too speculative. Looking at the short term, you would say that Yahoo Finance would agree with me as well. In the short term, it's looking bearish. Midterm, it's looking bullish. Long term, looking neutral. Financials are looking kind of strong too. Every single year, the revenue has been increasing to the point where it looks like it's increasing exponentially, and it looks like the earnings are tapering off. This month, 20 analysts out of 36 believe that Snapchat's a hold. I tend to side with them. I believe a nice price target for Snapchat is around $55 in the short term, around $65 in the midterm, and $77 or $80 in the long term. I really want to see how Snapchat diversifies its income stream to make it less dependent on advertisements as a primary revenue driver. If things go its way, Snapchat really is a force to be reckoned with. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to ring those bells. I'll see you guys in the next video. Brisk out.